Live from Midtown Atlanta, this is CBS 46 News at 11.
We begin with breaking news tonight. Old National Highway at Bethsaida Road in Fulton County is shut down after a deadly accident. Take a live look at the scene. Police say the accident involves two motorcycles, a car, and a Penske moving truck. One person is dead. Everyone else involved in this accident is hurt. Again, all lanes are shut down on Old National Highway at Bethsaida Road in Fulton County. Look for updates throughout this newscast and on our website, CBS46.com.
New tonight.
He was left completely broke. I mean, his account was at 3 pennies.
Grief and betrayal. A family just outraged to learn that an elderly loved one who died was scammed out of thousands of dollars. And the heartbreaking story is all new tonight. And it's the caregiver's the one who family and police say swindled a 92-year-old.
But the man's family says the blame doesn't just fall on the woman accused. Tracy Hutchins is here in studio tonight with who else they say is at fault.
Well, Scott and Stephanie, not only does the family blame Terry Sawyer, who they trusted to care for their sick loved one, but they also blame the bank, Wells Fargo.
He went to high school with Truett Cathy of Chick-fil-A. They were very good friends.
This is James McWilliams' family remembering him during better times. The 92-year-old passed away in June after developing an infection following surgery.
It hurts when somebody you trust with your loved one betrays your trust by abusing him.
McWilliams' niece, Robin Cobb, says her uncle was financially abused by his caregiver. Dunwoody police arrested 43-year-old Terry Sawyer, saying she wrote checks to herself from McWilliams' checkbook. Cobb says she noticed his money was gone when she went to the bank to pay for his funeral. She says Sawyer made off with more than $56,000.
We were in shock that, A, that she would do this to him, and B, that Wells Fargo would let these checks go through without trying to contact my uncle.
The family says Wells Fargo never contacted them or McWilliams about all of the checks written out to Sawyer. They say the bank won't refund the stolen money, and they're trying to make them repay one of the fraudulent checks that bounced.
And it's not right.
It's not right.
For these checks just to be cashed without a red flag being raised.
The family wants Wells Fargo to be held accountable and for others to learn from it.
If you have elderly relatives, get involved in their life, even if you're not their child.
And according to the family, Sawyer continued to steal money from their loved one even after his death by charging up his credit cards. And right now, Dunwoody police are asking anyone who may have also been victimized by Sawyer to give them a call.
New details tonight on the man from Florida convicted of killing a teenager from Marietta. A tentative sentencing date of October 17th has been set for Michael Dunn. Today, a jury found Dunn guilty of first-degree murder. Dunn shot and killed Jordan Davis after an argument over loud music outside of a gas station in Jacksonville in 2012. Davis's parents say they are pleased with the verdict.
That justice has been served. Justice not only for Jordan, but justice for Trayvon. And justice for all the nameless faces and children and people that will never have a voice.
I wanted Jacksonville to be a shining example that you could have a jury made up of mostly white people, white men, and be an example to the rest of the world to stop the discriminatory practices.
Now, Dunn already faced 60 years in prison for his previous convictions in February, but is now looking at a mandatory life sentence.
Right now, Douglas County Sheriff's Office is looking for this man accused of trying to attack 3 women in their homes near Stewart's Mill Road. They released this sketch. Take a good look here. Deputies say all 3 women fought back, and police are telling women in that area to do the same thing if they see that man again. If you recognize him, please give the sheriff's office a phone call. New details tonight about a deadly MARTA train accident. This is a story we brought you as breaking news overnight. MARTA police have identified the pedestrian killed as Mahendra Patel. They say Patel was in an unauthorized area of the Georgia State Station and then hit by a train with no passengers on board.
New information since 6 o'clock tonight. We've learned police were responding to a horse that was on the loose on Coweta Road in Atlanta when they stumbled onto this, a possible dogfighting ring. That horse was hit by a car and died tonight. Well, police heard dogs barking from the woods nearby while they were investigating, and that's where they found 20 dogs. Many were malnourished, some were chained to trees.
I was sad because they were really skinny, and I mean, if you can't feed your dogs, you shouldn't really have them.
Police also found 4 hogs and 2 horses on the property. Authorities have not yet been able to find the homeowner. Now to a CBS 46 exclusive. We are waiting to learn if 2 teens will be charged with animal cruelty after a family saw them put a cat and a dog in a cage and then told that dog to attack. It happened on Conrad Drive in Athens. CBS 46's Mike Paluska has more from the neighborhood for us tonight.
They could have got the cat out. The cat was still living. They was cheering, get it, get it, get that cat.
Wanda Wright says she was leaving work on Tuesday when she heard what she thought was a dog fight. But when she looked across the street towards her neighbor's house, she saw a dog mauling a kitten.
The cat was screaming. The cat was acting real crazy. You could see he was running around trying to get out, and the dog was really loud barking.
This is the dog Rocco that Wright says was killing the cat. Wright says the dog's owners were inside the cage cheering them on, so she ran over and told them to stop the fight and save the cat.
And I told them to get that cat out of there now, and they wouldn't do it. I think it's real evil.
Wright's son Solomon and her sister also tried to get the teenagers to stop the fight, but they wouldn't listen. The attack went on for nearly 10 minutes. Wright says she frantically called 911 for help, but by the time police arrived, the cat was dead.
They were just telling the dog to get him, get him, get him, get the cat, and the cat was just fighting for his life. It was really sad.
When we first got here, Athens-Clarke County Police were here as well. They said that they were trying to continue their investigation on this cat mauling that happened, but they said the family was not cooperating. We didn't get any cooperation when we asked our questions either. I'm Mike, CBS 46. We just saw this. Nice to meet you. Okay, cool. The man Wright identified to us as the teen in the cage walked past us and then pushed his mom out of the way and told her not to talk to us. Wright says he told police he wasn't home during the attack. She says that is a lie and will do whatever it takes for police to arrest the teens.
That is cruel to animals. You don't do that.
In Athens-Clarke County, Mike Paluska, CBS 46 News.
And tomorrow, Dunwoody police are expected to charge the people who hoarded dozens of cats. Police raided the home. They found 70 cats. They were taken to 2 shelters and will be placed up for adoption when they're healthy.
New tonight, a Metro Atlanta family is looking for some answers and some compensation for a veteran's death. They say neglect by the VA stole precious time that they could have had with their loved one. CBS 46's Frank Wiley sat down with a brother in the CBS 46 exclusive. And Frank, this brother says no amount of money could replace the man that he looked up to.
Yeah, that's the case there, Scott. The family wants reimbursement for benefits and compensation for wrongful death. I sat down with the family, looked at hospital reports, and got their story behind them. Old Glory, a symbol of liberty and justice for all. But on this day, some question whether that's true.
I was actually at the house when he passed.
April 2014, Tyrone Matthews watched his brother take his final breath. He talked with me about Otis Huey's struggle to breathe just months before. The story starts here in Decatur at the VA hospital.
They just cut the benefits without looking.
In mid-2012, the VA had been treating Otis for prostate cancer. He'd gotten over it, according to doctors. Tyrone figured his brother, the Army-strong Vietnam vet, had pulled through.
One guy, we laughed all the time.
Conversation came up weeks later about a cough Otis had that just wouldn't go away. Otis's urgent care x-rays didn't look good. Doctors told him to go to the VA. It took him more than a month to get x-rays there.
He told them he was going to set it up and never contacted them.
He's talking about Otis's VA doctor. Breathing didn't get any better, so he went to the emergency room. Tyrone says the VA didn't see his brother again until October.
They didn't even look at the records that he had lung cancer.
Stage 4. X-rays showed it all along. Otis also had a brain tumor. Both men believe neglect caused that to go undetected, too.
Well, we've asked for millions of dollars.
Jonathan Johnson says the next step is a lawsuit against the VA. Tyrone says the doctor left the family with little comfort.
He didn't apologize, but he just said that he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. The attorney told me a pursuant notice has been submitted. By the way, the VA will have 6 months to respond. If they don't, a lawsuit can be filed. I reached out to the VA today. My calls were not returned.
Frank, thanks very much. We also have this to tell you. The Secretary of Defense says VA hospitals need to shape it up, and they have 45 days to come up with a plan on how to do just that. Secretary Chuck Hagel's 90-day review found care at VA hospitals and other military facilities is about average compared to private health care, but more than half of the military hospitals out there had higher than expected rates of surgical complications, and medical workers said that they were afraid to come forward and report problems. The people of One Metro Atlanta City want their mayor out after they say he tried to pull a fast one. Plus,
if they can see the picture, they can grab it or copy it, and then they can upload it all over the place.
CBS 46 discovers a scam that will have you thinking twice about posting to social media. We break down the scam and show you how to better protect the images you do post.
and Porn Sunday instead of Palm Sunday? Something's not quite right here. Why one church is dedicating Sunday service to adult films.
And even though the calendar says fall, it felt a little like summer today, but fall is making a return. I'll let you know when, coming up.
And we continue to follow breaking news. Old National Highway at Bethsaida Road in Fulton County is shut down after a deadly accident. We're working to learn new information right now. Look for updates throughout this newscast and on CBS46.com.
Let's get you back to that breaking news situation we've been following for you. Old National Highway at Bethsaida Road in Fulton County shut down after a deadly accident. Here's what we know. Police say the accident involves two motorcycles, a car, and a Penske moving truck. One person is dead. Everyone else involved is hurt, too. Again, all lanes shut down. This is along Old National Highway at Bethsaida Road. We'll have updates for you throughout the newscast over the next 15 minutes, and we'll update our website online overnight at CBS46.com.
Also happening right now, the Atlanta streetcar is making its first test trip before it debuts this year. Take a live look from Auburn Avenue in Atlanta. The streetcar is traveling very slowly, about 5 miles an hour, and will stop at each of its 12 stops. This should last probably until 4 or 5 in the morning. This is really to make sure everything's working properly before they fill the streetcar with people and put it out there on the road for real.
Now we want to tell you about an old scam that's reinvented today by social media, and you know what? It is still defrauding thousands of new victims. We are talking about Green Dot's Money Pack cards.
Scammers like the cards because they work like cash. Used in conjunction with social networks such as Facebook or Instagram, it's compromising online identities and emptying pockets. CBS 46 investigative reporter Jennifer Emmert breaks down how it could happen to anyone and how you can protect yourself.
Can I get you a refill?
Sure. Andy Cafrada's waiting tables, saving for college in the spring, making the claim in this Instagram video hard to resist.
She said she could turn in $100 into $1,000 and just add a zero to it. You see like an older man kind of thing, or that you don't know, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe I should just back away. But since since it's a girl, girls don't really get involved with that kind of stuff.
To make $1,000, Emma directs Andy to put $100 on a Green Dot Money Pack card. All Emma wants is the PIN number on the back.
And I said, hey girl, when do you want me to get you the number? She goes, hey, you can send it to me right now.
The FBI says hand over that 14-digit PIN and
You just gave those scammers cash.
CBS 46 started searching for Emma. Some online digging, and we found the girl in the pictures. But
I would never do something like this. I would never get involved in fraudulent activity like this.
Morgan L. Whiteley was catfished, meaning her Facebook and Instagram pictures were used to create a fake account. It worked. While at school, an angry victim showed up at her family's home, demanding her money back.
I would have never expected anyone to even know where I lived or found out where I lived, and through an account that's not my own account, and then they somehow contacted people and had given out my address.
Morgan L. asked Instagram to remove the account, only it resurfaced a half-dozen times. When CBS 46 questioned Instagram about what it does to police their app, it turns out nothing. It's up to you to find and report problems.
Have you ever read the privacy policy?
No.
I just checked the box.
You check the box.
Privacy and security policies make it clear your data isn't safe.
So it doesn't matter what kind of settings you have over here.
Kennesaw State computer expert Humayun Zafar shows Morgan L. how easy it is to lose control.
Let's say this person right here is your friend, and now you've said it. Well, okay, well, my pictures is only shared with my friends.
Right.
But that friend tags one of their pictures with, their names.
Right.
But their feature says, well, friends of friends. Now your picture is visible to their
To
friends
everyone.
of friends.
Right.
Instead, set the tag feature to delete images you're tagged in without your permission. You can turn off features that give away your location with your picture. Think twice before handing over passwords to third-party apps that link sites like Facebook and Twitter.
Not a good idea because you just don't know where that information is going. And when you are passing in your credentials, you just don't know where they're stored either.
As for Andy, she's out $100. Morgan L. hopes social networks will step up security, but she's not leaving it all to them.
My only concern is, I'm coming out of college really soon, a couple of years, and I'm going to be seeking employment. I don't ever want something like this to come up, through a social media background check, because I'm not a part of this Instagram account whatsoever.
After we spoke with Instagram, the fake pages disappeared. Computer experts remind you you're only as strong as your weakest link, and Instagram has fewer security features than Facebook. We've got more tips to protect your social media accounts on our website. Jennifer Emmert, CBS 46 News.
Now, your CBS 46 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Markina Brown.
Hey there, our Thursday is definitely looking like it's going to be a good one. We're going to start with partly cloudy skies and end with partly cloudy skies. We're looking at 69 degrees for 9 a.m. and by 5 o'clock we're looking at temperatures that'll top out in the low to mid 80s once again. But changes are lurking off to the west. You can see the front here. This will come our way as we get into Friday, and with that front we'll first increase the clouds, then we'll get in some showers and storms, and of course it will leave behind considerably cooler temperatures. In fact, we could see those numbers dip to about 10 degrees below average. You can see it here as we track the overnight lows for you over the next 5 days. As we get into the weekend, look at what we do. Numbers easily get into the upper 40s and 50s for lows. The average low for this time of year is 59 degrees. So that is just a taste of what this front will do to our temperatures as we talk about precipitation wise, when and how we're going to see the rain. As we start to track it by Friday afternoon, you can see it making its way in from the northwest, moving southeast. By 3 o'clock, folks in the northwest part of the state will start to see the rain first. Then we'll start to see it right around the Gainesville area all the way down through Atlanta, Carrollton, LaGrange, just in time for that afternoon rush, and then it'll get out of here pretty quickly. 9 o'clock though, before it completely moves out, folks in northeast Georgia could see some pretty heavy rain. We're looking at Gainesville and Athens and maybe even Covington. Then we will start to see quick clearing behind the front, and again that will mean really clear skies, beautiful conditions just as we get into the weekend. Kind of like what we're seeing right now as you look outside. We've got a mainly clear sky, 72 degrees in Atlanta, upper 60s in places like Marietta and LaGrange right now. Lows tonight will bottom out in the low 60s, even some upper 50s out there. The average for this time of year is 59 degrees. We'll see a low of 63 in Atlanta. 84 will be the high for tomorrow in Atlanta. Temperatures down to the south and east will be in the upper 80s. Carrollton, you'll see a high of 85 degrees. So checking out the 7-day forecast, we've got an abrupt change coming our way as we get into Friday. Get those umbrellas out, but then Saturday, Sunday and beyond, lots of sunshine and a gradual warm up. Back to you.
I told you and I warned you, make me come to this school.
This mom isn't playing any games after finding out her daughter has been cutting class. So she grabs a camera, goes to the school, and what happens next is video you have to see.
Plus controversy after a church advertises Horn Sunday at a high school, no less. What's on the pastor's mind that's got a lot of people talking tonight? New tonight, a fight over annexation in Avondale Estates taking center stage. In a packed room, Mayor Ed Riker made good on his promise to at least talk about the issue in a special work session. People confronted him last week during a commission meeting over his plans to double the size of the city. They say they didn't know anything about his plans.
I also want to have some say in where my neighborhood and my properties end up. And I think that's fair, and I think anybody else who, who owns property and homes should be aware of what's going on.
The annexation would include areas around Rio Circle, Forest Hills, and DeKalb's Farmers Market. Some people there want the mayor to either resign or face ethics charges.
Tonight, 5 children are being monitored by Texas health officials for symptoms of Ebola. They and at least a dozen others who had direct contact with Thomas Eric Duncan in the last week or so are being watched. The CDC confirmed yesterday Duncan has Ebola and in fact was the first case diagnosed in this country. They say he went to a hospital in Dallas last week. He was sent home after he told them he had traveled to West Africa. He was admitted 2 days later. The CDC says Duncan is in serious but stable condition tonight. And a hospital in DeKalb County, right here in Metro Atlanta, is implementing an Ebola preparedness plan. DeKalb Medical started working on the plan more than a month ago, in fact. It includes providing protective equipment for the staff and asking every patient who comes to the ER 2 questions.
They'll ask you, have you traveled to Africa within the last 21 days or been exposed to anyone who has, and are you feeling ill?
If the person answers yes, they'll be given a mask and immediately isolated in an exam room.
Now to a developing story. The Department of Homeland Security is now ordering a review of White House security. The agency wants it done by mid-December, too. This comes after the resignation of that woman, Julia Pearson, the former Secret Service director. She stepped down today after criticism for security failures within the service. The 2 most recent, a man jumping the White House fence and getting inside, and then an armed man riding the elevator with President Obama during his visit here in Atlanta. Joe Clancy is now acting Secret Service director. A 4-letter word is brewing up a whole bunch of controversy at a Virginia church, and it's not what you think. Take a look at this sign. The church wants its members to attend Porn Sunday. Pastor Joel Brown says it's a bit shocking, but people need to know about the dangers of pornography.
It might be uncomfortable, but I think the best thing for us to do, if we truly love our kids, is to equip them before they go out and not see the collateral damage of an addiction.
While the signs have certainly caught the attention of many, they also garnered another unexpected response. Church officials put them up last Friday, and by Sunday, someone had stolen all of them. Part of the backlash is because the church service is being hosted at a high school.
All right, swallowing needles is normally one of the worst things you could do, but it is not as crazy as it sounds. Researchers say they've found a way to make it work, and there's a benefit to you. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and tonight we're taking a minute to look at ways to reduce your risk of developing the disease. First, doctors say watch your weight. Being overweight increases your chances of developing breast cancer, especially after menopause. Also, don't smoke, and if you do drink, limit yourself to no more than 1 alcoholic drink a day. And avoid hormone therapy after menopause. Now, in addition to healthy lifestyle habits, it's important to get screened for breast cancer regularly. Hartsfield-Jackson is saluting breast cancer victims and research. Take a look. The pink lights are on display out at the airport. They're so bright, in fact, you can see them all the way from 285.
Many of us don't care for needles. I'm certainly with you on that one, but the idea of swallowing one is actually not out of the question here. Surprisingly, MIT researchers have made it work. They created a pill with tiny needles in it. Once the outer shell dissolves in your belly, tiny needles in the pill inject the stomach lining with the medication. It's painless since the gastrointestinal tract doesn't really register pain. Normally, the body breaks down pills before the medication can be completely absorbed.
Clorox is disclosing what fragrance allergens are in all of its products. This is a major move. Companies traditionally keep that information protected, calling it a trade secret. A spokesperson says she hopes this decision will keep customers loyal. As much as 11% of people have a sensitivity to fragrance allergens.
Coming up next, a mother becomes videographer and embarrasses her daughter after she's caught ditching class. Would you go this far? Video you've got to see. A Wyoming mom sends a bold message to her daughter who ditched class. The mom went to the daughter's school, followed her around, and recorded the whole thing. Some people think she went too far, but mom says it had to be done.
She's not going to just skip school and think that it's okay to go hang out with her friends when she should be in class.
It just goes to show that my mom cares. Like my friend Ruby, she's in YCC, and she said she wished her mom would have done that for her.
The video has been viewed by nearly 30,000 times. Ladies, both of you have high school daughters.
Yeah.
There
Never.
You go.
No, she goes to class. We wouldn't have to do
okay.
it. Okay.
That'll do it for us. Thank you for making CBS 46 your choice for news tonight.
Good night.